Hey everybody, Henry here. So today I'm comparing these two lovely smartphone cameras of mine. On my right there is the iPhone 11 and on my left there is the Huawei P40 Pro. Now for the past several months I've used these two devices to compare camera quality, pictures, also videos, night, daytime, doesn't matter. Before we go to the test, I would like first to cover each camera setup on these and then we'll start with the testing. So let me first start with the Huawei P40 Pro. So the Huawei P40 Pro has 3 camera lenses on its rear and a time-of-flight depth sensor. Primary camera comes with a large sensor of 50 megapixel that outputs 12 megapixel pictures, and it uses pixel binning to increase dynamic range and texture and is equipped with a fast f1.9 aperture. It has built-in OIS for sharp pictures and smooth videos, and it works great also in low light. The other sensor, the ultra-wide, also uses high resolution sensor, which is again large, and it has 40 megapixels that again outputs and renders image at 12 megapixel and is combined with fast f1.8 aperture, which shines for low light shots. So the other camera lens right here on the bottom is also known as the periscope telephoto lens, and it has a 12 megapixel with a 3.4 aperture. It uses folded optics for 5 times optical zoom, 10 times hybrid zoom, and can go as up to 50 times zooming. And what is great, fantastic about this is that it works in combination with the main camera to increase the clarity of the pictures, and that is awesome. On the front it has a single sharp 32 megapixel sensor, and next to it there is also the biometric or the depth read sensor. And now the iPhone 11. Now the iPhone 11 comes with a dual setup camera. It has a main camera and also an ultra-wide lens. Now the main camera shoots at 26mm and the ultra-wide at 13mm. So both cameras shoot straight at 12 megapixel resolution. The primary 26mm has OIS built in, so the lens is stabilized for nice sharp pictures, and it has a fast aperture of f1.8, which is great for low light shots. The ultra wide sensor doesn't offer OIS and has a smaller aperture of f2.4, which can actually suffer in low light. On the front, the iPhone 11 has a 12 megapixel camera, 23mm wide, an aperture of f2.2, and next to it there is also the biometric or the depth sensor. Now let's head to the test. First I will start with the video departments and slow motion, and then we'll go over to picture analyzing. Let's do it! Now we are testing the video department on both of these devices. So the Huawei P40 Pro is on my right and the iPhone 11 is on my left. Now there is going to be a dialog box which will indicate which audio of which device is playing when, and now you can tell which one is better. Now when it comes to the video department, it's very hard to beat the iPhone. This is one reason that I've always chosen to go with an iPhone, because I shoot tons of videos, and so the iPhone is just great at videos. And also if you do have a DSLR or mirrorless, the iPhone is great as a B-roll camera. And yeah, so now we're just walking normal pace. You can also check the stabilization of both of these devices. So don't worry, Kiki, there is nothing on your back, so you can actually increase your pace. And yeah, you can also see the color science. I'm not editing anything, no post-processing, nothing. And yeah, so you can have a look and just let it be which one do you prefer better. Right now we're shooting in a wide format on both on the iPhone on my left and also the Huawei on my right. So I'm going just to take a sprint or a run, and the girl is going to follow me with both devices standing on the rig. So you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, ready? Let's go. Checking the stabilization. Come on. Okay. You're watching at 4K 30 FPS on both devices. I like the video on each, even though colors play different, but during daylight the option to go ultra wide while filming something is just special. It's very beautiful. Just look at that output. Nighttime video. The Huawei in overall shoots brighter videos thanks to its larger sensor. Color tone seems cooler on the Huawei always and warmer on the iPhone side. This is 1x zoom, but now look at the difference when I switch in ultra wide. The iPhone gets darker because smaller sensor and smaller aperture. The Huawei remains brighter because it has a large sensor and bigger aperture. I find the Huawei better for night shooting. Now you're looking at 4K 60 FPS, great quality on both devices. Color reproduction is a bit different, but each looks great on its own. Right now we're looking at the front-facing camera. Both devices are shooting 4K 30 FPS. The colors do appear differently on each device from what I'm seeing on the display of each of these. So the iPhone 11 is on my right and the Huawei P40 Pro is on my left. You can also tell if there is a difference in stabilization. I'm just working normal pace. And so yeah, this is how it looks like, this is how it sounds like, and this is the color science. But when it comes to video, I'm not sure why, but I find the iPhone to be better, you know. And plus, the field of view on the Huawei P40 Pro, you can tell it's narrower, and on the iPhone 11 it's wider, so there is more on the shot on the iPhone 11, so that's great, of course, that's awesome. Now it's slow motion time. Huawei offers a lot more in this department, you'll see. First test is the 120 FPS test. Both can shoot it in 1080p. Let's have a look. Now to 40 FPS, and you notice immediately the iPhone with a smaller resolution because it shoots only in 720p. It can shoot in 1080p though, only in high efficiency mode. Now the Huawei continues its fun. This time 90-60 FPS in 1080p, amazing, just look at that. And this one is big, 76-80 FPS, ideal for explosions, just enjoy this one. And in between the 90-60 FPS and 76-80 FPS, the Huawei also offers 90-20 FPS for fast-moving objects. Keep in mind though, it will only record for a short time when using such extreme high frame rates. Alright, now let's start with the picture analyzing. I'm using my 16-inch MacBook Pro right here because I trust the color accuracy on this laptop. And yeah, let's do it. First, we'll have a look at normal mode pictures taken with the primary standard lens. Keep in mind the iPhone is always on the left and the Huawei on the right side, but you can also check out simultaneously this dialog box on the bottom right that shows metadata of each device. The first picture looks great on both devices, equally sharp to me, and I like the colors equally. On this next picture you can notice the highlight blues on the sky on the iPhone better. Definitely looks much nicer on the iPhone, I would say. Also, this door right there looks exposed better on the iPhone, better shadows and better clarity, but focus may have varied for this picture, so it's not a sharp problem from Huawei or anything. If we jump over here, you can tell the Huawei has focused here and iPhone suffers a little on the chroma aberration in that window. Another nice picture, and you're looking at the Colosseum, the Flavian Amphitheater in Rome. I enjoy better the colors on the iPhone here. Colors. Well, our software processed. The time I've done this picture was May. There has been a few updates regarding the camera department, and I've noticed they have tweaked them a lot. I mean, you can tell a lot that the camera on the Huawei has just become better and better. But zooming in, the Huawei shows more clarity on the building. Good job from the Huawei. Here on this one, the iPhone has retained blacks more and colors are extra saturated than the one on the Huawei. I like it better. Also, this was taken in May. You can tell same sky processing colors, but also read on the metadata. This is an interesting picture I captured while walking, so this is an action picture, and both cameras froze the image great. This is a close-up shot of those traditional telephone street cabins. Both devices look sharp and clean. On this one, colors have matched, though more saturation on the iPhone. Also here you can notice the saturation of the iPhone, but zooming in, the Huawei shows much cleaner image quality in overall. The one on the Huawei was more natural to what it looked with real eyes though. Interesting picture here. I wanted to see how well would the cameras capture those bulb lights, And the Huawei looks a winner to me here. You can see how much cleaner is the Huawei when we zoom in, and it has pulled off the blacks for a much better view. Look at this good looking road bike, the Italian Bianchi. I like the one on the iPhone better. It has collected better information of the colors, putting the shadows and highlights as it should. It was raining. I wanted to check one which will freeze the shot better, and now I can see the Huawei has used a faster shutter speed, and hence the rain droplets look more dense or denser on this picture than the iPhone. Look at this one here. The Huawei has protected the highlights over there in the best way, and the motorbike though looks great on both. This picture is just a sharpness test just to check the quality of the lens of each device, and as you can tell, both lenses are sharp also in the corners. Usually cheap smartphone cameras are blurry on the corners, like for example the Samsung Galaxy S10 Lite that I have reviewed on my channel. This is me here, and the picture at the first glance just looks great on both devices, and colors look almost the same. A bit curious on this spot though. Yeah, looks like it was hard for both devices to actually protect the highlights on those shiny plates, I would say. Funny me here, overall pictures look good. I can tell the extra saturation on the iPhone 11 here, but I like better the cooler tone on my skin on the Huawei P40 Pro. But I love how the iPhone has retained the black of my shorts. The Huawei has pulled it off, though you can tweak these settings very easy on an app just like Lightroom. And now these are some pictures taken during low light. Right away on this one we can see the highlights on the monitor completely blown away on the iPhone 11, and the image is much cleaner overall on the Huawei P40 Pro. In this one with the dog, well, different color science here completely, but again we get a cleaner image on the Huawei. On the iPhone is grainy, though personally I like the colors better on the iPhone, but to be honest none of them were true to life. What a nice shot from Kiki here with both devices on her hands. Both have done a great job, but again we can notice that the Huawei offers a cleaner image overall. This picture was taken with almost no light at all. The Huawei has done an amazing job, and I didn't use night mode at all. Most of the time I actually used normal mode. Night mode on the Huawei is optional, and the iPhone automatically used night mode and also did a great job. With naked eyes, I'm telling you, I could barely see that. The Huawei here looks better in my opinion. Look at the sky, love it. The iPhone always on the warm side and the Huawei on the cooler tones. This one I like it better on the iPhone. The red color of the signs look just much brighter and better to me, though Huawei knocks with its image quality when we zoom in. And the last one completely dark here. You can tell how the iPhone has struggled even with its fantastic night mode. But look at the Huawei, surprised me so much when I took the picture. Couldn't believe it where smartphone photography has led us. And you know, when you take a picture with a Huawei, it doesn't take more than a sec, and all it does is, software camera processing. Now I shouldn't compare the zooming on these devices because the iPhone 11 doesn't have a telephoto lens like the iPhone 11 Pro in 2x optical zoom, but since the zooming on the Huawei is so impressive, I wanted you to see it. It's amazing that the periscope technology does what it does. Those folded optics capturing such a nice, sharp, clean image, and most importantly with great stabilization, no need for a tripod. Great pictures of the moon I have taken this summer. So good that some of my friends cannot believe are taken with a smartphone, and I had to record a video to prove it. That you can film the moon on the Huawei P40 Pro in 15x max zoom in 4K 30 FPS, and I'm telling you it's spectacular. Now this one is the full core moon I took just a while ago, and I also posted it on Instagram. This was 50x zooming without a tripod or anything. I edited a little and I was amazed by the results. Now let's talk ultra-wide. The iPhone wins sort of away, at least in daylight, but in terms of image quality and overall, if we zoom in, the Huawei takes the lead because it has a larger sensor, 40 megapixels that output to 12 megapixel, and has a faster aperture. This one looks great on each at the first glance. Well, if we zoom in, well, you know it by now. Now during night, the Huawei throws iPhone miles away. Bigger glass, bigger aperture, better image, it just wins. Look at this one. Pretty would have been on the iPhone if it would have had a bigger aperture and sensor. And the last one, it was dark, you can tell on the iPhone, but for the Huawei it was still early evening. Now let's talk portraits. In this department I wasn't expecting it, but the Huawei smashed the iPhone. With that being said, I guess it's hard to beat the Huawei here. It's amazing how accurate this software, even here man. Look at this one, the hand at the door. It's like it calculates perfectly to cut a human from the background. Look at this one with the dog. The triangle over here, perfect. Also here. And look at the hand. Huawei just does a better job, simply. And this last one, this was during afternoon. Looking at the gap here on my left, look here. On top of my right shoulder, it's unbelievable how the Huawei never fails. Now let's have a look at two selfies now. Two different approaches here. Well, I like the iPhone, which has protected the blues of the sky and has maintained a nice dynamic range in the background. What I like on the Huawei here though is that it has protected the white of my shirt very well. And I'm serious about it. I didn't want to make the video even longer, guys, but both shoot amazing selfies. I enjoy the Huawei better though because of its higher resolution of 32 megapixel of selfies. And about nighttime, the Huawei takes just better selfies, hands down. They are brighter and much cleaner. And so we came to the end. I really hope you enjoyed the test. Now it's time to sum it up. And what do I think? So let me start first with the Huawei P40 Pro. Now personally, I love the quality that this camera renders. It's really a top contender when we talk cameras, no doubt about that. And I also love the video department. I mean, this large sensor does the trick or the magic here. And I love it. The zoom particularly is very impressive. The optical zoom at 5 times is very, very clean and sharp. It's like you are actually getting closer with your feet, and that's phenomenal. Now the stabilization is also very, very good. For a smartphone, that it is. It can easily replace a point and shoot camera. The slow motion is another particular area that I would like to stop because the 1960 FPS that this guy offers, which doesn't come on your iPhone, it's great, it's awesome, and it's clean, I mean in 1080p. And you also get in 720p HD, again another crazy slow motion for explosion and such things, in 7680 FPS, which is, I mean, I love it. You saw it with your eyes, so I love it again. Now the iPhone on the other hand, you know, you cannot go wrong with either of these devices, but the iPhone here, for example, has been on the top list on this last decade, right? And I'm sure it's going to stay always on the top. Now, for the pictures taken during nighttime, you know, the Huawei wins, no doubt about that. For daylight, you cannot go wrong with either of them. Sometimes you may prefer the pictures taken with the iPhone and sometimes with the Huawei. Well, I would say that you definitely cannot go wrong with either of these two bad boys. Believe me, you'd love them because they are flawless. Since the Huawei, for example, lags the Google services, I use both of these devices simultaneously but for different tasks, right? And when I take pictures, I usually most of the time use the Huawei because also during late, this guy takes amazing, fantastic pictures, and so this has become my daily driver when it comes to camera tasks. But the iPhone is still there, it's still, you know, my trusty camera, you know, it's always in my pocket. But these are my thoughts. I would also love to hear your thoughts, so you can leave them down below in the comment section because I would love to read them. And if you do have any question, please leave it down below. I'd love to answer you and interact with you guys because you're so cool. So that will do it. Thanks again for watching. Consider subscribing to see more. And yeah, I guess I'll catch you on the next one. Bye bye.